So I think this all started when me and you had a particularly big argument. And you told me a bunch of stuff about how things I had done in the past had hurt you and stuff like that. And after you said that, I had just bought the journal and I went and I wrote down exactly what you said, like verbatim, so that I could work on not doing that anymore. And then from there, soon after that, this January, the beginning of the year, that's when I really was like, oh, well, I mean, that helped then, so I'll just try and do it every day. So a lot of people from last week in the comment section wanted to know, like, your perspective on my journaling and stuff like that. That was, like, one of the top comments. So, do you want to read it first? Like,
Sure. I'm so nervous to read it.
Did you not know I was journaling for, like, a long time? Did I not tell you?
Yeah, I didn't know.
When was the first time that I don't even know when the first time was that I would have brought that up or why I would have.
I feel like it was like fairly recently. I don't know how I didn't catch on to that. Like, I know that you like read and stuff, so I just figured you were like, I guess, doing your reading time.
Daily reading.
But I think actually right now is when I've learned that you've been doing it so long.
I didn't tell you
it's
been
disaster.
I didn't tell you it had been January I guess I did. It's just something that is just kind of private, so it's like I get up and I do it early, like first thing in the morning at like 5:30.
And like when you're doing stuff in your office, like I figure you're doing stuff in your office. It's not like I'm like, hey, what are you doing in there?
Yeah, Sarah's not nosy at all. Do you want to read it? Like, I feel like you're really nervous about it. I mean, I tried to find.
I feel like I'm going to cry. I feel
Why?
like this video is not going to end without tears, I think.
Well, I figured I would try and find something that was interesting. I tried to, because I have like my scoring system that I have. You haven't even seen like what a page looks like, have you?
No, this is the first time I would never read your journal.
All right, so I don't know. I just tried to find a thing where my score wasn't very high, and then I tried to find something.
Where should I start?
I guess just like right here.
Okay. This might take a minute. Okay, I think I read to the part where my part ends. I forgot that even happened.
I know, I'm amazed like at writing stuff at how much you can remember.
Yeah. But you got a really good score there, right?
I did?
I think that...
Well, that's what I'm saying is I write down what happened and then how I can improve on it. That's kind of the point of it. I never just write down, oh, I hate Sarah. You know, it's not like that.
No.
But what's your perspective since I've been doing this for, you know, this long now? Like, you can give your honest opinion. If you feel like it hasn't done anything, you can.
Honest opinion.
Oh, okay.
First of all, I think that you're way too hard on yourself most of the time.
What, on my little dumb scoring system that I've done?
Probably, but I feel like just across the board sometimes, because I feel like where we differ sometimes is you're always kind of striving for perfection. And I'm a little bit more laid back. So I think the things that you write down sometimes, from what I know, like sometimes it's things that bothered you a lot more than it bothered me. Like even just having an argument. Like I tend to get over it very quickly. And I'll like forget that it even happened, and then you, I think, dwell on it. And I think that's probably something I need to improve on, of just knowing that those types of things affect you more. Where I feel like sometimes there can be like a healthy amount of arguing in a marriage. That sounds really weird, but I feel like if someone who says that they never ever argue, sometimes it makes me question on how real they're being with each other. Because, you know, when you're in a marriage, you're with someone who has probably grown up very differently than you, even if it didn't seem that way in the beginning. you're gonna find out those differences along the way. For me, sometimes I think getting it all out is like a healthy way to be like, oh, okay, well now he understands where we where we are, and I think it affects you differently. And I know that you like, well, actually when I watched the video last week, because he did it all, I didn't see it until it was ready to be posted, and so I think that was insightful for me to watch as well, I think.
That's funny because I always just feel like you just know everything already. So like when I was saying all that stuff in the video, I just thought that you knew that.
Because you were saying, how like, we don't have a perfect marriage, and that's absolutely true. I don't think there is truly a perfect marriage. But honestly, like every day, I think that I've gotten as close to a perfect marriage as I ever imagined that it would be. Like,
well, that also goes from the fact that you're a very optimistic person, and I can be extremely pessimistic at times.
That is true.
And so we're very different in that. So any positive thing that happens, that reinforces your concept of like, this is the best that it could possibly be. Whereas if anything negative happens to me, it's just like, man, I wish that it could be better, that I could. So that's just our different brains.
Yeah, I feel like I go into it expecting you not to be perfect, right. And I think that you go into it expecting us both to be a little more perfect than maybe we can be. But I think that every day trying to be better is my idea of what is on the right track for a perfect marriage.
Right. And that's the thing is I beat myself up like so much all the time, probably unnecessarily at times. So when people say that they like respect how much I try or stuff like that, because that was like people were saying that in the comment section. Again, it's just really hard for me to view myself in that way because I can see so many flaws in myself that like when I hear people say stuff like that that's like positive about me, I don't know, just because I feel like I am way too pessimistic that I don't see positives in stuff sometimes. So
and this is another good reason to marry someone not exactly like you.
Right.
You can be very much on the negative side, and I am way probably too far on the positive side.
Right.
And so we're kind of on opposite side of the spectrums. But I think also that's where, like, say we have a disagreement, and I feel really good that we like got all this stuff out and we like understand each other better. In my mind, that I'm like, okay, that was not the best conversation we probably could have had about that, but I get over it very quickly. And I'm just back on top again. On the other side, I think that you take it very hard.
Yeah, I think that just goes to how our brains are wired. Really.
So I think you shouldn't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah, I know. You're always telling me that, which is true.
Because I just appreciate you so much. See, I am going to cry. So like when everybody says, I know this is like, I don't know if this sounds like arrogant but when I see people comment, saying that how great you are, I'm like, yeah, it's true. I really lucked out. And then you
where I take it as like, I just don't see it.
We're both gonna cry. But lately, I've been telling you every day that you're my hero, and I really mean it. Oh, great. This is never gonna be a crying channel now. But okay, so back to the journal. I have noticed a change in you though, because I think the biggest thing I used to struggle with is you just getting very annoyed at me. And I don't feel like I ever get annoyed. Like there's like nothing that annoys me. And if it does, I usually just go, hey, can you just not do that? And I expect the same from Jordan. But he's way more, okay, confession time, he's way more tidy than I am. I have
yeah.
I have a problem with being very distracted and not finishing things and going to the next, or like my brain just, I have a problem with like leaving stuff out and not realizing it. And Jordan likes things very particularly, and so he would just get very annoyed at me a lot. And I would try, but it's just part of who I am that I just can't.
Sarah can't like focus on one thing to finish it.
And I have noticed since you've been journaling that really is the biggest, I think, issue I had between us. And I have seen that you are a lot more patient with my downfall. That's, I honestly feel like I think that's my...
I mean, it's not the worst problem to have. That was kind of like the main thing that I found I was writing, was just being annoyed. And as I was writing stuff, I realized, well, there's a lot about me to be annoyed about that you don't get annoyed about. Because that's always kind of was the starter for us having a bigger argument, was my just getting annoyed about something, and then it would turn into a bunch of other stuff. And that would just progressively go, you know, day after day once that starts, and kind of like avalanche. And I feel like those avalanches don't happen nearly as much when I'm constantly writing down in those instances. Yeah, I start to annoy myself by getting annoyed because I'm writing it down every single day. And then I feel like that's what's helped me a lot. This is the first time that we have really talked about the journal at all. It's always just kind of been this thing that I do, and you don't really know much about it or anything. So I wanted to make this video, you know, for myself as well as for the curiosity of people out there. I would suggest to people out there to do this. I mean, if it's something that you struggle with, just kind of, particularly if you just get annoyed by little things a lot, I think it can help. Do you think it can help people? Yeah. All right. Well, we will see you guys next week on the Crying Channel. Bye. Was that, you know, that was okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you say everything that you wanted to say?
Was it?